Hey my TRX people, welcome to Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today we're just going to be going through kind of a flowy, full body TRX workout. Now when I say flowy, I feel like the first thing that comes to mind is like easy. Not the case. We're still going to be doing some good functional kind of strength training movement here, but just with that kind of like added flow that a Pilates class might have. So again, our TRX class today is kind of a blend of that functional movement and some Pilates movement. All right. So honor your body, of course. You need to make adjustments. You make adjustments. You need to take breaks, right? You take your breaks. Okie dokie. So we're going to be starting here with the arms straight. And actually, let me back up a quick bit. Our tabs are up by the equalizer ring, so my straps are all the way shortened, okay? So we're gonna start with the feet maybe shoulder width distance apart. I'm just at an angle right now so you can see me in the frame. I'm gonna straighten my arms out in front of me and I'm gonna push down into the handles and I'm just gonna feel my armpits kind of kick on a little bit. I'm gonna find a little bit more length out through the crown of the head and now take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, I want you to nod your chin, peel your spine away from that imaginary wall, and then roll yourself out. Roll yourself out, pass through that long line, and then maybe find a little bit of extension. So my knees, for me, I have to bend them a little bit to find that booty sticking out and that chest reaching forward. And then from here, I'm gonna straighten my legs, round my spine, push down into those handles and roll all the way back up. Let's do that again. Press down into the handles. On your exhale, nod your chin, peel the spine away from that wall, roll yourself out, pass through that long line, let the knees bend where it feels natural. Feel the chest reach forward, feel the booty stick out. Now take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, round through the ribs, curl the tailbone under and roll yourself all the way up, up, up. One more time like this, make it feel good. All right, roll yourself out. Collarbones open at the top here, tailbone sticks out. And then let the head drop, round your spine, lift up through the ribs and roll yourself all the way up, up, up. All right. You're gonna bend your elbows. Now palms are facing in towards one another. I'm gonna keep my shoulder width distance apart with my feet. You pick if you wanna have a turnout or parallel, okay? So just find your happy squat stance. Pull down on those handles and then bend your knees. You're gonna squat down and then stand back up. Now's your opportunity to just really feel that equal tripod connection down through your feet. And also check in to see, is my dominant side kicking on or are both legs working equally here? Arms are active. All right, so each time I stand up, I'm thinking of pulling down on the handles and getting even taller at the top. Let's do 2 and 1. Now when you come up, I want you to lift the heels up, lower the heels down, and then squat down. We stand up, we lift the heels, lower the heels, and then stand or come back down. Lift the heels, lower the heels, and come back down. Lift the heels, lower, and squat back down. Now when we come up, we're gonna lift the heels and keep them lifted. And now we squat down, and then back up. We squat down, and back up. Now that the heels are lifted, can you keep balanced weight across the balls of your feet? Think of the toes just being long. They're still down, but we're not gripping with the toes. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Come down into your squat and hold here. Could you lift the heels up higher? And now lower them. Lift the heels up high and lower them. Lift the heels up high and lower them. Try to control this, right? I know it's tempting to like slam them up and then slam them down, but embrace the shake on the way up and then on the way down. Neck is still long. I can still turn my head from right to left. Let's do 3 and 2. Last one, keep the heels lifted, stand all the way up, lower the heels down. Straighten the arms out in front of you, roll yourself out. Find more of a flat back here. And now sweep your right arm up to the ceiling as your left knee bends. Push into the handles to feel that tractioning of the spine away from the hips. And then right arm comes down, left arm up and around. Right knee bends. Push into the handles. And then back to center. One more time each side. Right arm up. Push into the handles. Back to center. Other side. Push into that left big toe. And then back to center. And then from here, roll yourself all the way up, up, up. All right. Now, bring the legs zipped up together. Make sure you have enough room behind you to step back. Still holding onto the handles. I'm gonna step my right foot back. I'm gonna lunge down and then step back in. Left foot back and then step it in. So if you can, try to stay upright here, right? We're not leaning forward or even back. Think just roof of your mouth over your ribs, over your pelvis. Arms are assisting where you need. Let's do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Step the legs together. Step your left foot back behind you into your lunge. Now from here, I'm going to straighten my arms out. I'm going to hinge forward, lift my back leg up, hold here and find balance. My arms are active. My armpits are active. And then from here, I'm going to go right back into that lunge. Elbows bent. I'm going to hinge forward, lean forward, and then come back. Hinge forward, lift the leg up, and then back down, right? Think of holding this long line with your spine so we're not excessively arching the back when we lift that leg up. We have 2. And last one, reach forward, hold. Keep a soft bend to your standing knee. Don't let that change. You're gonna roll the top hip open and then roll it all the way down and into your right inner thigh. And then roll the hip open and then roll the hip into the thigh. You got it. Again, 2 more times. Roll it open and then roll it down. Try to keep the upper body relatively stable here. I know that's tough. And now square the hips off, come back into the lunge first, and then bring the legs back together. All right, step your right foot back. Find your lunge, straighten the arms out, hinge forward. Pause here, again, just find balance. Feel that you're long, there's no tension in your low back, and then take the foot down, we lunge down. Hinge forward. And maybe each time, right, you lift the leg up a little bit higher, right? Keeping that tripod connection down through your left foot. So like for me on this side, I really, really want to roll out the higher up I lift my leg. I'm just really tight there and also weak. Good. Now on your next one, you're going to hinge forward. Soft bend to your standing knee. You're going to roll the top hip open and then roll it all the way into you. Roll it open. Now if you're tight on the side of that left hip, you might even get like a little stretching sensation as you roll the hip in. It's the same thing as if you were going to lie on your back and take the leg across your body for an IT band stretch. Only we're just making it active right now. Last one. Roll the top hip open. Roll it into your thigh. And now square your hips off. Take the foot down to the floor, come into that lunge, and then step the feet together. Awesome work. All right. So keep holding onto the handles. Pull tight on them. Elbows are bent. Walk your feet in a little bit. So now you're leaning back, right? You're holding this plank position with your spine. And now let the arms go straight. And then from here, arms are gonna stay straight. I want you to find retraction. So shoulder blades are gonna hug the spine. And now find protraction. Shoulder blades pull away from the spine. retraction, protraction, retraction, protraction. Think of your pubic bone just steady looking up to that anchor point. Let's do 2. And 1. Now find center with the shoulder girdle, and now low row yourself up, and then let the arms go straight. Think of the elbows reaching down and back, and then forward. Down and back and forward. Something else to keep in mind here, make sure your pinkies are wrapping around just as much as your index fingers. That's gonna help connect you to your lat line, to your armpits. The door is a little noisy this morning. Let's do 3. And 2. And 1. Now bring the elbows right at your ribs, okay? Elbows are gonna stay bent. We're gonna open the arms out to the side and then back in. Think of it as like a bent elbow lateral raise and then back in. Now just be careful that we're not going into our neck. There's a point for me where like I feel my neck and my upper traps kind of kick on and get a little cranky. That's about where I'm gonna stop. But I'm also gonna think about really opening up the space in my back. So elbows go wide and out to the sides. Legs are still strong. We have 3 and 2 and 1. Beautiful, pull yourself up. Let's go ahead and spin your rounded face away from the anchor point. Arms are straight here. Let's bring your legs into, let's go parallel. So all 10 toes are pointing forward. I want you to step your right foot out. Lunge forward, drive your chest through the arms, and then press yourself up. Left foot forward. And back out. I want you to pick today whether you want your back knee bent or straight. Maybe you do both. Every day is different. Some days I feel like I need one more than the other. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, bring the legs back together. Now I want you to walk forward to where your arms are kind of straight overhead. I'll walk over to the side here, but slightly in front. All right, so legs are zipped up. I'm gonna keep pushing into the handles, and now bend your elbows wide so we get a nice chest stretch. Elbows are kind of reaching behind me, and then straighten the arms back up. Now, if you have really mobile shoulders or like you need more of a stretch in your chest, you just walk a little bit further away from the anchor point. But I would like you to think of like almost doing like a pull-up here. So it's not just a chest stretch. I'm pulling my elbows down towards my hips and back to my center line, and then back up. I feel like I'm lifting my chest up to that bar. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Awesome. All right. Come back to the top of that push-up again. So my arms are straight, my legs are zipped up. Now from here, I want you to lift the heels up and then lower the heels down. Lift the heels up, lower the heels down. And now lift the heels up high, right? Even if your heels can't touch, think of them just staying together. Arms are gonna stay straight. And now glide the arms away. This is your long stretch. And then pull the arms back in, or your ab roll out. Inhale the arms away. And then exhale, pull the arms back in. If you need to make this easier, you step away from the wall and feel like it's your armpits and your side body muscles that's pulling the arms down to you. Let's do one more. And I lied, we're gonna kind of play around. So send your arms back out, but not quite all the way out. Maybe like 80% to that end range. And now from here, keep the elbows narrow and bend your elbows in, and then straighten the arms back out. Heels stay lifted, legs stay zipped up, and think of finding a little bit of protraction in the shoulder girdle. And if that doesn't make sense, think of like pushing or pulling back through the upper abdominals and the low ribs. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, bring the hands just in front of your shoulders, turn the elbows out, straighten the arms out, and now bend the elbows wide for a push-up, and then press yourself back up. Try to keep those heels lifted. It just adds a little extra element, right? My calves are starting to shake a little bit. And just make sure those straps aren't rubbing against your arms. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Now step your right foot out in front of you, lunge forward. And now from here, keeping tension into the straps, I want you to side bend up and over to the right. Think of making that left arm a little bit longer. And now take a big breath in here. And then on your exhale, come back up through center and then press yourself back up. Left foot goes out. We side bend up and over to the left. Right arm gets a little bit longer. Take a big breath in here. And then on your exhale, bring the arms back to center and then press yourself back up. We're gonna go back to that chest press, only now we're gonna play around with the arms a little bit more. So we're gonna combo a chest fly or a hug and our bench press. So my right elbow is gonna bend out to the side while my left arm kind of opens up. So it's gonna have a soft bend and then bring the arms back together. My right arm now has a soft bend out to the side, left elbow bends, right? So one arm's doing a chest fly, the other one is doing a push-up. And depending on your strength or your mobility, right, you might have to shift just a hair more weight into the one that's doing a push-up. Puff up that chest, right? Keep it proud as you're doing this. Let's do 3, sides of the neck long, and 2, and last one, press yourself out. All right, let's turn back around, face your anchor point. Now take your hands into the straps, palms are facing down. So here's gonna have to be some finagling. Your hands are gonna have to rotate. So I'm gonna take my feet wide, like a wide sumo squat or a plie position. So there's a turn out here. So feel your tailbone kind of reach down to the floor. I'm gonna hold my plumb line, keep tension in the straps, and now I'm gonna squat down, knees reach wide and back, and then stand it back up, right? So I'll get to the pivoting of the hands here in a second. I realize I just jumped the gun on that cue. So go ahead and squat down, think knees wide and back, and then back up. We squat down, and then back up. Now hold here, up top, and now circle the arms around and up to the ceiling, all right? So think everything being in line, right, with your tailbone. And now make sure those straps are taut by pushing back into the straps. And now, can you keep your arms up overhead? And now squat down, 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 and then back up. All right, we squat down, 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 and then back up. Now, if this starts to get a little necky, right, maybe take your arms out to more of a Y. But what I really want you to feel is those arms connecting to your back. All right, and that's where this motion, this push out is coming from. Let's do 3. It's also your overhead squat. And 2. And last one. Now hold here in your squat. Sweep your right arm forward. So now my right palm is facing down to the floor. I'm gonna lean forward a little bit and go into a little bit of a twist. I'm gonna look to my left, my hips stay stable. I'm gonna shift myself back and then windmill the arms. Equally push into the handles. Lean forward. Feel like my left rib cage glides forward, my right rib cage glides away and back. And then back to center, windmill the arms. Hold strong in that squat. Reach forward, twist, 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 and then back to center. You got it. We're gonna do one more on each side. And then back to center. Should feel kind of good, or at least feels good to me. Open up your chest and back to center. Last one. Push back and down. And then swivel the arms back to center in front of you. And then stand all the way up. And now we hinge forward. Hinge forward, get a stretch somewhere. And then lift yourself back up. Let's do that a couple more times. So feel like your booty sticks out. Hinge forward, reach forward, and then come back up. So for me, I can feel really tight in my hips. So I'm gonna bend my knees a little bit just to give myself some space. And then press back up. Last one like this. Reach forward, push down, and then come back up. All right, now we're gonna kind of combo this plie and this arm reach. So go ahead and squat down, all right? And now from here, nod your chin. Start to roll yourself out and then straighten the legs. Reach forward, stick the booty out, find a little baby extension. And now I want you to round into yourself, kind of undulate your spine back to that stacked squat position. And now circle the arms up. We circle the arms down, nod your chin, roll yourself out. Find a little baby extension here on that forward fold. And then roll yourself back, kind of stacking yourself up. Circle the arms up to the ceiling. Again, roll yourself out, push the floor away. Find baby extension here in the forward. Curl the tailbone under. Sit your hips back, stack your spine up tall. Arms reach up to the ceiling. One more time, circle it down. Round forward, pull back through the ribs. Reach the heart forward, stick the booty out. Tuck the pelvis under. Send your tailbone down. Stack your spine up tall. Arms reach up to the ceiling. Beautiful. And then arms come down. Stand all the way up. Nice work. Okay. Let's now come down to the floor. Before we do though, I'm gonna take my straps down to where my handle's kind of hitting me at mid shin, okay? Mid shin, and that goes for even if you have like a ceiling mount or like you've got this hanging on a pull-up bar. All right, so once you get your straps set up, we're gonna come lying down on our back with our head to your anchor point. So when you're lying down here on the floor, just make sure that you're in line with your anchor point, right? Otherwise you'll probably feel really off and it'll pull you from, you know, a different direction. So take your hands into the cradles and then reach your arms long and then push down into them like you were doing just like a static chest expansion hold. And now bring your knees into your chest, super glue the legs together to start, and then just feel that long line out through the crown of your head and down through your tailbone. And now let your low ribs settle into your mat and then keep them there as your right knee stays in and your left leg shoots out long and away. And then switch legs. Left knee pulls in, right leg reaches long, and then switch. I like to do an inhale as I pass my legs and then an exhale as I pull the knee in. Let those inner thighs kiss as they pass in space. For 3 and 2 and 1, bring both knees into your chest. If it's available, you can curl your head, neck, and shoulders up into a little bit of a chest lift here. And now exhale out all of your breath with your knees in, and then inhale as the legs go out long, and then open the arms out to the side a little bit, and then exhale, hug everything back in. Inhale, legs go out, push into those handles, and then exhale back in. Right, this arm pushing down when they go out wide, it's kind of like you're rowing back on the reformer. Back in, 2 more. And back in. Last one, hold it out here. If you can, keep the arms reaching out to the side. Right leg comes up, left leg lowers down, and switch. No matter where your arms are at, think of them reaching across the room. Spine and pelvis stay stable, even if your head is down. For 3 and 2 and 1, bring the legs straight up to the ceiling, all right? Hang in there with me. Can you lower the legs down a little bit? And and then lift the legs up. You have one solid leg, push the legs down and away, and then lift the legs up. 2 more. Inhale the arms down, or the legs down, sorry. And then exhale, lift them back up. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Inhale down and away. And then exhale, lift them up. Fold the knees, place the feet down into the floor. Head is down. Bring the arms back towards your midline and take your feet to about hip socket distance apart. Press down into the arms and just roll the hips up off of the mat, find bridge. And just pause here and just let the chest soften. And just think, or just find this like opening through the front of the pelvis and through the front of the hips. And then just round down, roll down, roll down. Let's do that again. Roll the pelvis under, roll the hips up. Think of the arms, once again, reaching across the room. And now from here, keep the knees as stable as you can and just let your right hip drop down a little bit and then lift it back up. Left hip drops down a little bit and back up. So as one hip drops down, you're still thinking of that knee reaching past your toes. It might help to deepen the stretch sensation or opening in the hip. We've got 3 and 2. Front of the throat is open. Last one. Find level hips and then just melt down, melt down, melt down. Alrighty. Go ahead and take your feet into the straps. And then let's start with knees bent today. So your legs are in about like parallel here. And let's go somewhat zipped up. I know sometimes the handles kind of get in the way, so do your best here. Arms, anchor them down and into the mat, so find that broad collarbone. And now take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, go ahead and roll the hips up. Pause here at the top. Now it's very easy to like it all be in the chest, and your chest is in your face, so just find a position where you feel comfortable here, but also you're feeling work in your backside. And then just roll down through your spine. Think of sending those hips away, away, away. Fully release the tailbone at the bottom. Again, roll the hips up. Pause here at the top. Take your hands underneath your hips. Now, if you're like, well, my chest goes more into my face here, take the elbows wide, right? My fingertips are just kind of out to the side. And my heels and my hands are kind of in my upper butt cheek area. Now, keep this kind of lifting up and off the hands. And now straighten your right leg out and away. And then pull the leg back in. Straighten the left leg out and away. And then pull it back in. So as you do this, I want you to almost feel like your hands are tractioning your hips away from your ribs. And you're just trying to soften down through the chest as much as you can. And as you're alternating, think of finding this line from your big toe to the inside of your knee, all the way up to the inside of your thigh. All right, just find that line as you go out and in. Last one here. Good. Bring both feet back in, arms come down, and then roll down, roll down, roll down. All right, so that was kind of like your leg springs in the air or your work from the mat. So knees stay bent, arms stay down to start, and roll the hips back up. Take the hands back under your hips again. And now think of that pubic bone staying rolling back to your navel. And now can you straighten both legs out and away? And then pull the heels back in. It's a floating hamstring curl. Find that inner thigh line, y'all. And I'm sure you can see my legs are not going all the way straight, right? That's fine. If your legs go straight, that's fine. What I want you finding, what I want you feeling is the back of your legs and maybe your butt crease muscles a little bit trying to kick on. And that comes from that rolling of the tailbone under and the pubic bone back to your navel. Woo! Let's do 2. And last one, pull those heels into your seat. Take the arms down and then roll down, roll down, roll down, all the way down to the mat. All right, let's now take your feet out. Take your feet wide onto the mat, knees are bent. Just drop your knees off to the left. Look over that right shoulder. And then up and over to the right. And then back to center. All right, so bring your knees into your chest. Find like a little baby Pilates V. So heels are trying to pinch together. Arms are straight and pushing down. So I want you to kind of channel that kind of booty and back of the leg connection when you come up into your teaser. Because if you're like me, it's like hip flexor and quad galore. So if we can kind of tap into our backside a little bit, it'll kind of take some pressure out of the hip flexors. So arms straight out, press your heels together as best you can. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, just start to roll yourself up. Think of pushing out into those imaginary straps. You're gonna come up to the top of your teaser and pause. So we're in a Pilates V. I'm pressing down into those handles or straps, and then start to roll the pelvis away from the thighs, away from the thighs, away from the thighs, and then bring the knees back into the chest. Now, if you're like feeling rock star today, you wanna start with the legs down, you are more than welcome. My low back is feeling a little cranky today, so I'm gonna keep my knees into my chest, but we're gonna do that again, all right? So pinch those heels together. Think of finding your seat, and then on your exhale, you're gonna roll yourself all the way up. Take your time, take your time. I don't care if knees are bent here, right? No worries. Hold strong, push down into those straps, and then roll back, roll back, roll back with control, and then bring the legs back to your start position, whether down or into your chest. All right, now we're gonna roll up and we're gonna play with some stuff. So again, think long and reaching arms. Use your exhale. In those sticky spots. Ugh. And then hold here at the top. Keep the shape of your spine, keep the lift out through the crown of the head, and now lower your right leg down a little bit, and then back up. Lower the left leg down a little bit, and back up. Right leg down, and up. Left leg down, and up. One more time, right leg down, and up. Left leg down, and up, and then slowly roll back. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Oh, those are my nemesis. All right, we have one more set. Hang in there with me, please. So find your Pilates V, push into those straps, start to roll yourself up, pull back through those upper abdominals. Find the top of your teaser today. Now, row the right elbow out to the side and then back out. Left elbow and then back out. Like a little half bow and arrow. Keep the neckline long. Let's do 3. Hang in there with me. And 2. And last one. Hold here. Lower the legs all the way down to the floor. Flex your feet and just lean forward. Lean forward. And now keep the arms straight, circle them around and back behind you. Push into the handles, or I keep saying handles or straps, and then dive the head up and over. So when you push down, use that to lift the ribs. And now stack your spine up tall, and then just lean back a little bit. Lean back for a little shoulder chest stretch. Just be careful. And then dive the head up and over. Feel the tailbone curl under. And then circle the arms back around. Flatten your back out. And then lean forward. Bend your knees a little bit if you need. Pin those heels down. And now straighten the legs. Round the spine. Circle the arms back around. Make the arms so long that you create more space between ears and shoulders. And then stack your spine up tall and just lean back. Again, feel the pelvis roll under. Right, here's your tendon stretch right here. And then go ahead and just stack your spine up tall. Okay, let's now spin you around. We're gonna do a little swan, So when your arms are straight, they're gonna be kind of right underneath the anchor point. And if you've got the door mount like me, you're just gonna make sure that you're not jamming your fingers into the wall. So let's zip the legs up together, find parallel. Forehead goes into the mat, and then finds that push into the straps. And now I want you to shrug the shoulders into the ears, and then pull them down and back. Shrug the shoulders into the ears, and then pull them down and back. Shrug the shoulders up, and then down. And now I want you to add on to this by kind of making a circle. So roll the shoulders around, just make this feel good. Last one in this direction, and then reverse. So circle the arms around. All right, now feel the shoulder girdle is stable and kind of somewhere in the center. So again, hug your inner ankle bones together, even if they can't touch. Drive your pubic bone into the mat so your tailbone feels long and your low back feels open. Now, arms are gonna stay straight. Push down into those palms to lift your chest up. Lift your chest up, reach your heart forward, and then lengthen to come all the way down. All right, again, we rise up, find that pinky line down through the arm and down into your pits, and then come all the way down. Right? It's kind of the opposite of our long stretch. So lift yourself up, find that broad collarbone at the top, and then lengthen all the way down. Remember, with extension, we're trying to find length over height. So if you start to feel some compression anywhere, just think about getting longer and then maybe limiting your range. So now I want you to come up, but come up like halfway. So find a little baby swan, and then think of your low abdominals kind of lifting up off of the mat to support your back. Now, could you float your thighs up off of the mat a little bit more? And now you're gonna keep the hover of the knees, and now kick your right heel to your seat for 3, 2, 1, and then back out. We kick the left heel to your seat. We kick, 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 and then back out. We're gonna alternate. If at any point it's like, oh, my shoulders don't like this, my back doesn't like this, go ahead and just lower all the way down, right? That's an option too. Fight for the hovering of the thighs and the knees. And once again, find that inner thigh line from big toe to inner heel to inner knee and inner thigh. One more each side. Kick, 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 and then back out. We kick, 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 and then back out. All right, we're gonna skip the double leg. Go ahead and just let go of your handles. Tuck your toes under and just push your hips back to your heels. And just find some decompression. Find a rounded spine here. And just release the low back. Okay. So now we're gonna do, we're actually gonna come back down to the mat after we come up and do some standing stuff. So straps are gonna stay at this length, and I'm gonna take the straps underneath my arms, okay? So I'm kind of hooking my thumbs around the handles, okay? So I'm gonna walk myself back a little bit to where my heels are on the mat, okay? And that's gonna depend on your mobility or your flexibility in your ankles. So I'm not really hanging in my shoulder joints here. There is a little bit of a push, like I'm kind of at the bottom of a push-up. All right, so feet are actively flexed to get the entire heel into the mat right now. I'm in parallel, okay? All I want you to do is just lift the heels up and then drive the heels back down by flexing your feet. Now, if you're finding this is really easy, you're like, okay, they can just go right back down without a struggle, I want you to walk the feet back a little bit. Right? So in order to get the entire heel down, you have to flex your feet to connect them down. Yep. So when we do our calf raises or like our tendon stretch after our footwork, there's equal work on both ends. I know it's very tempting to just let your heels fall because there's a heavy spring pulling you under, but there's work on both ends. Now for the next couple, could you spread your toes a little bit more? And then as you lift the heels up, could you put the weight into the balls of your feet and not your toes? So we're not white knuckling with the toes, they just stay long. They're just hanging out. Let's do 3. It's a nice stretch, but there's a lot of work here. And 2. And the last one. Awesome. Okay, so now we're gonna do kind of a runner's lunge with a knee drive. So I'm gonna step my right foot forward, my left foot's gonna go back. Okay, so my back heel is gonna stay lifted, my front heel is gonna stay lifted as well. All right, and I'm holding this position with my upper body, okay? Back is gonna stay relatively flat for the first bit here. I'm gonna bend into my back knee and lower down a little bit. And then I'm gonna drive my left knee into my chest and come up and pause here. Just find balance and then take the back foot down and then drive the knee up and then back down. Now, when you're doing this, I want you to feel that right butt crease muscle engage. And when I say feel, right, it might just be you thinking about it, right? So this is your propulsion when you're running, right? Walking, sprinting, all the things, right? It's also your single leg stretch. For 3, woo, and 2, and 1. Take the foot down. Now, get yourself situated. We're gonna go back into it, okay? So knee into the chest, hold here. Find balance, all right? Now, can you straighten the left leg out? And now pull back through the ribs and round your spine a little bit. And then bend the knee, flatten the back out. 3 more times. Straighten the leg out, round, and then bend the knee. Left hip reaches down to that right inner thigh. Yes. Last one, right heel stays lifted. Reach the leg out in front of you. Good. Bend the knee and then place the foot down. Whew. Hello. All right, other side. Every side is different, so be kind to yourself. Now, right from the get-go, I want you to feel like your left hip is spiraling back and your right hip is kind of spiraling forward. Okay, so we come down, drive the knee up, find balance, and down. Remember that front heel just stays lifted. Open up that left hip each and every time at the top. You can take these as slow as you want. I just find that when I go slower, I'm all over the place. My balance is not great. Let's do 2. And 1. Take yourself back. Reset if you need. All right. Drive the knee up. Hold. Now we straighten the leg. Pull back through the ribs just like your teaser. And then bend the knee, flatten the back out. Right leg goes straight. Pull back through the stomach. And then bend the knee. Woo, definitely my weaker side. Reach the toes away. And then back in. 2 more times. You got this. Right hip reaches down. Last one. Reach it out. Pull back through the ribs. Bend the knee. And place the foot down. Oh, shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Okay. Drop the straps down. Now come kneeling. Let's do 1 foot. Let's do this. I was gonna do both foot, but let's do 1. So I'm gonna take my left foot into the cradles, to both cradles, okay? So I'm gonna take my hands down to the mat. Make sure that you can straighten your leg behind you, right? You're not gonna kick the wall there. So my hands are underneath my shoulders. Any wrist stuff, you can always come down to your elbows. Or if you are determined to stay on your hands, just turn your fingertips to like 11 and 1 o'clock and maybe take the hands wider than shoulder width distance apart, okay? So push the floor away, feel the chest kind of lift up into your back, and now step your right foot back, right? So my right toes are on the floor, and then straighten your left leg back. So I'm holding in my plank here. I'm just gonna hold strong. All right, now keep both legs active and straight. Now bend your elbows, reach your chest forward, little chest press or push up. Press yourself up. Again, bend the elbows, lower down, and then press yourself up. Last one, bend the elbows, and then press yourself up and just lower the knees down. All right. And I forgot to say, if you're on your forearms, right, on the next one, you're just gonna do a protraction, retraction, right? It's like a little shoulder girdle push-up, okay? So now, come back onto either your forearms or your hands. Find that protraction of the shoulder girdle. So shoulder blades pull apart. Step your legs back. And now, I want you to bring your right knee in, hop it forward. Right leg goes back. Right knee in, hop it forward, and then back. Right knee in, and back. Now, if you're like, I want to feel more things, maybe the knee hovers or the foot hovers, and then back out. We've got 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Step the foot back, lower the knees down. All right, let's do the other side. This is all we're gonna do for planking today. That's it. So just know that, right? That's nice. So again, if you're coming onto the forearms, remember, you're gonna do that kind of lizard push-up, protraction, retraction. So, protraction, step the feet back. Stand strong in both legs. Right foot is flexed, bends the elbows, lower down into that push-up, and then back up. No, you can always drop your knee down, right? And back up. Last one. And up, and just set the hips back. Okay, so next one here. Every side is different, y'all. So I want you to think of squeezing your right quad muscle, flexing that right foot to drive the heel into the handles to support this like weight transfer, bring the knee in and back, in and back. All right, so push the floor away, get yourself set up. Knee in and out. Knee in and out. So we did this standing, right? Now we're just doing it with gravity pulling us down. Hover the knee if you can. Give me 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Step the foot back, lower the knees down. All right. Let's turn around and face the anchor point. So a little thigh stretch, kind of semicircle rolling in and out here. So row the elbows wide, start here. So with the elbows wide, the straps are taut and my hands are just in front of my chest. From here, you can readjust. So my legs, hip socket distance apart, push down into your shins and feel like your pubic bone is going forward. And now you're gonna hinge back. So let the arms guide you back into this thigh stretch and then row yourself up. Now, if you need more of a stretch, right, you start closer to the wall, to the anchor point, I mean. All right, so push down into your shins. Let the upper body help guide you back into that stretch. And it's an equal push into the shins and a row with the arms as you come up. One more time like that. Find your inner thighs. And now row yourself up, reach your arms forward, nod your chin, roll yourself out. And then push down into your arms, round your spine, lift through the ribs, roll yourself all the way up. Keep tension into the straps, stack your spine up tall, and then lean back. Go back, stretch back, find that thigh stretch, push into the shins, lift yourself up, roll yourself out. Stick the booty out, find a little extension, nod your chin, roll yourself up. Now on the next two, if you want to find extension, you're more than welcome, right? So we hinge back, keep driving the pelvis forward. But now when you're at your end range, take your gaze up, puff up the chest, And then nod your chin, let the chest soften, let the hips come down a little bit, and then row yourself up, and then roll forward. Last one here. Stack your spine up tall, elbows go wide, guide yourself back, keep the pubic bone forward, puff up the chest. Think of this coming right from your upper back. Keep pushing down into the handles, and then exhale, nod your chin, soften the chest, let the hips fall back, and then row yourself up. And you are done for today. Nice work, y'all.